Test, test, test. Let's see if you guys can hear me. Test, test, test. Let's see if you guys can hear me. Okay, there may be a slight echo on that when I was testing the sound for myself. You guys over there on YouTube land, let me know if you guys can hear me okay as well. Like I said, I have not tweaked the YouTube stream yet. All right, cool. Yeah, I have not tweaked the YouTube stream yet, so we're still getting that one fully set up. Once you go in there, you do have to do a little bit of tweaking. So you guys will see I updated some of the graphics today. It was a busy day getting a lot of stuff done. A couple of the trades we talked about, particularly the Aussie New Zealand. We're actually some nice little runner today. We'll cover that. You can see basically at this point, guys, all eyes are going to be on PAL tomorrow. Doesn't matter which station you're listening to, what newscaster, everything is going to be on PAL. And we've heard a couple different options of really what's going to happen. Is it going to be no drop? Is it going to be 25? Is it going to be 50? Is it going to be weak? That's really kind of where all eyes are going to be. So make sure you kind of be aware that he is speaking all day tomorrow. If you're unable to be in front of the screen, make sure that again, you guys are watching it. As we're running a little bit of danger when you're in a position you think you're good, you're not protecting your profit, and all of a sudden PAL says something, and bam, you get kind of backhanded. Little pimp slap action there, right? That's what can happen when somebody like that talks. He's not going to have a fun 3 days, I don't think, but we'll see where it goes, right? All right, so first things first, we're going to start off at the top of our list. I'm actually going to jump into the Aussie New Zealand next. But let's start with the Aussie yen here. So as we talked about last night, we had this kind of blue kind of really trap of death, right? Well, if you look at what the candle did today, I'll stretch it out to make it look really exciting. Okay, you'll see that it did drop, but it still stayed right within inside of that zone. So, we went from 75.76 down to 75.46, about a 30 pip move, and you can see a little bit of a pullback. ATR is at 51, so it's really getting sucked down. Again, it hasn't really given us any true indication of where it wants to go trend-wise. Again, it pulled back, but again, there are buyers here. It's not the best zone, but we'll see if it is able to break this 75.13 on its way back down. Even on the 4-hour, you can see last night, we're right here at 1 o'clock. I'll go back to 1 o'clock right here. You can see we're at the top of the range. Again, hitting this kind of descending wick situation. Okay, I didn't mark it last night, but here's your little descending wick. We'll go there. And that's where we were last night. It dropped back down, and where did it go to? Again, the start, kind of this pullback here, this, wick behind, it literally stopped right inside of that, the initiation of kind of the first pullback on the gap. So really just bouncing forth between these two areas. Not really enough meat on this one to take, unfortunately. It is what it is, Like I said, all eyes on PAL. It's going to make a big difference. Of the three options, the 25, I think, is what most people expect later this month. 50 would be a big deal. That would be a surprise. And a delay, kind of a pause, would also be a good deal. Would also be a kind of a big deal and a bit of a surprise. So I think that's going to send it in either direction. It's going to send the U.S. stock market, which will affect the yen, and then kind of move this left and right. So we'll see where to go with this one. Again, where we are right now, we're kind of like in a grinding stage. Uptrend, sideways, upward, sideways biased up. Confirmed. Nothing really great. A little bit of a pullback here. It's not even giving us a downtrend setup because it's truly stuck inside of the sideways channel. So just be a little bit cautious on this one. If you did want to take shorter time frame trades, again, you're talking about 46 to 86. There's only about 40 pips here. Again, you got to be real conservative. Again, this move is not just a trend change; it's a bounce off the top. And again, fourth break. So next time it comes through, there is some potential to the top side. Okay, but again, we got to get out of this daily supply, this daily kind of sideways kind of magnet where price has been pulled back. You can see right now it's even green. It's starting to kind of pull back towards this median level at 75.75. Okay, let us drop down, and I will go into Aussie New Zealand. So if you guys will see, we talked last night that the entry actually would have been yesterday. Actually, I guess 2 days ago, Sunday night. We banged right into this 4-hour zone, kind of at the top of the peak here, and last night we would have been right about in this area where there's a bit of a pullback into this kind of wick against the wall. And we talked about two potential areas, but we thought it would go back down to this kind of hidden area, right? We said we'd run into a little bit of a stick right here, right? Because that's where we had a nice little pullback before there's a bit of an explosion. Although it took two candles before it exploded. And you'll see we got a little bit of a wick over wick. Price came down, it came back up. Next candle opened, rallied, came back down again, and it drove right into, and again, this is that single wick against the wall. Those are pretty good targets. This wasn't a bad trade. Again, we didn't set this up last night. This was a 2-night ago, but again, not a bad pair to trade. Based off your entry, if you hit it off the top of the zone here, you're talking right at about 50 pips. So not a bad little turn off a 4-hour zone. And again, dead week, 4-hour zones are kind of where we want to go with things. All right. Looking on the lower time frame again, you can kind of see we've made some pushes down. Excuse me, I got something in my throat today. And it's starting to push back up a little bit here. And you can see that we're starting to get higher highs and higher lows. So we're starting to form a new kind of uptrend back up. And most likely we're going to go back up in this 105.05 area, start grabbing some orders here. But if not there, just probably a little bit above. So I probably wouldn't necessarily take this any farther north. I would be looking for that, that Harry Potter trade to the downside. Watch this thing break through. And if we can get a nice little kind of turning point here, retest up because of one of these two zones, we could potentially take this back down, and that would be about another 50 pip mover to the downside. So that's kind of what I'm looking for right now, is something, if we can get an entry, something along those lines. Okay, I will turn this gray. Okay, something along those lines of filling this kind of area, if we can get the correct entry to the downside. And again, that would bring us back down into this 104.30, which would also coincide with the bottom over here, this 104.30. Even if it doesn't hit, that wouldn't bring us in at a new low. It would kind of get us out right about here before the test. I think that would be a pretty safe trade to the downside. So not a bad trade if you see this one. Again, this would be one of those trades that after thinking it over today, I definitely think this is something I'm going to put in things up and then include the advanced libraries, and I think I'm going to create that trigger. Hopefully I can get that out and we'll start testing it by the end of this week. But just situations like this where I'll have it send, I'll create a special Discord channel, and what we'll do is something like this where it breaches, so we know that this line has been breached. Not just a little bit. We'll give it a little bit of space at kind of a new low. That way it has time to come under and retest back up again. But have this send an alert to Discord and see if that's something that you guys are into. And like I said, you guys are the original kind of group that's helping support the channel, so I'll get you guys in. Other people have to pay for it down the road, but again, I'll give you guys access to it and kind of grandfather you guys in. Kind of the perks of helping me test some things out. All right, but that's what I'm looking for this pair. Let's drop down to the Aussie dollar. So here are my blue lines. Okay. Looking good so far, right? We talked about, we're here right now, right? And here was the last one. We were all the way over here. And what did we say? We wanted to get a break of this because it was what? There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. Okay, there was our break that we talked about, right? Harry Potter trade. It's funny. It actually kind of came down and kind of just slowed down right to this area. And again, what it's doing is right now it's hitting this little kind of, I don't know if you guys can see this over here. You guys see this little area right there? That's what it's running into right now. You guys will see if I put a horizontal line on that. Look where it bounced off of. There's the pop. It hit. So there's where the drawing is. Okay. And again, that's kind of why the line is over here. So waiting for this to go back up and retest to go to the downside. We'll see what happens with that. Again, there's the break that we're looking for. Again, if you guys are not familiar with what we're talking about, or if you guys are just catching it, here was the original zone formation, right? So there was one, and again, it did break through, which is a very good sign. Let's go down and we'll do fire brick, whatever that is. Yeah, so there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there is 4. Okay. Again, third or fourth break of the magic numbers. And again, this one is kind of quick. We can kind of draw the zone off this end. So again, it's with a 3 or number 4, depending on how you count. But 1, 2, 3, 4, a break, came down, retested this slight level. Let's look for this to bounce back up again and then continue the trend to the downside. And again, you guys can see we talked about kind of overtaking this entire box, retracing back down. You can see today, let's measure this out based off of last night. There's the move. There's yesterday's candle, 60 pips. ATR for this pair is 45. So nice little trade setup in that one to the downside. Worked out pretty well compared to, how we discussed it last night. All right. Where we are right now, again, still in a waiting period. Again, we talked about, you guys remember we talked about we would set an alert at this yellow line. It would have been nice to know when it broke through, okay, to start setting ourselves up for that limit trade. Again, it could be the same thing. We could use that same alert right now right, for the retest. Okay, get a notification when we break this zone here, and then look for your entry on the lower time frame. And I'd probably even drop it down to like a 5 or 10 minute. Look for that color confirmation, that red, green, red, back to the downside. Okay, let's go down to CAD yen. All right, finish loading. All right, so CAD yen is still kind of stuck in its little sideways pattern. We talked about this. As you can see, if we take this big green kind of bounce from this area, the red bar, again, obviously is inside of it. It's a bit engulfed, okay? And we talked about this. You guys remember this zone? Again, we marked this off. Here we are right now at 1. The last one was up here. It was this green candle. Where did it go down to? It went right down to the test, the initiation of the move. So we got super, super close. Double top, went down, hit that area. Not enough meat on that one for us to take, unfortunately. And again, this one doesn't matter as much. Again, this is why we kind of mark these zones off. That's where I was going to bounce off of. So we'll see what it's able to do now. We'll see if it has the ability to go a bit higher. And again, this is a 4-hour zone based off of this gap, this wick over wick situation, this kind of descending wick area. Want to see if it has the power to kind of push up through, okay? It'll be interesting to see if we go up. If we do get up into this zone and I do see a red, green, red over on here, I'll be looking to short this. And this zone, it went all the way through. I think it's pretty much blown up. It's dealing with a little bit of a, a little bit of drama over here, but none of these are really great. We don't really have a true bounce until here, and then potentially down here. And again, that's the second bounce through. So again, call the direction, just really not enough there. 22 down to, it's only 30 pips. So again, not something you're trading on Nadex. This is a currency or a futures kind of trade setup. Okay. Again, slow week. I wish it was more like, it'd be better if it was more like this, but unfortunately that's not what it was, right? It was more this. And again, called it right off the bottom. All right, let's go down to Euro Aussie, okay? Euro Aussie had a good day. Nice little bounce up if you're able to play this one. We talked last night. Again, here's one. There's our one right here. We just got it through. And if you guys remember me talking, I said if we could get a red, green, and a red confirmation, I'd be looking to take this one. Because this did not break it, though, I may have been a little bit hesitant. I may have waited to go a little bit above. Again, one way that you guys are able to do this is instead of looking on a 4-hour, if it is closing, more or less dead even, what you can do is you can drop this down. And again, this is kind of one of those little tricks. Whoops, not that one. It's this one. Drop this down to a 2-hour or a 3-hour. Okay, so instead of doing 240, do 180, okay, and let it finish loading, and we'll see if we got the same type of, what type of candles. There we go, yeah. So you still, based off this pullback, because it's small, you would have most likely got it here, okay. We could have dropped it a little bit lower, but we would have started to get to the area. We were forcing a little bit. At the end of the day, it was about 74 pips, nothing to scoff at. If you can grab 30 a day, you're on your way to being, basically financially free. You're grabbing 74. That's pretty good, right? 70 times 5, you guys can do the math on that one. It's a pretty nice week, okay? And again, that's taking that confirmation, again, new establishment of a trend, higher lows, right? Coming down, bouncing, and then again, very strong bounce out of this area. Again, we had a strong bounce here, another strong bounce out, a red pullback, and then boom, green, red, green confirmation to the top side. And again, that break occurred about over there at 23-ish area. That would have been back. Would have been over in here. Okay, so again, actually no, that's not right. There's 23. Yeah, 23 would have been in this candle right here. Okay. So again, still about 74 pip jump up. Again, not a bad trade. It broke the high over here. So a lot of different ways you could take this. Again, this is one of those pairs that it may not be a major. You definitely want to kind of look at this one. All right. But again, that little capture would have been, again, conservatively about there. Okay. Something along those lines, about 74. All right. Let's see. Look at the good old euro pound over here. So euro pound, interesting enough, did not go drop, come straight back down again. It actually popped. Okay. It continued to kind of hold this last kind of, this piece over here, right? And again, it's starting to, if I adjusted these, I could adjust it right, along those lines, right? Again, a break here, pull back. And again, this is kind of, we're almost in a channel and we could almost extend this way and kind of go up. But again, it's there and there. And it's starting to level off. But again, nice little push back up again. It is grinding higher. And a lot of this is because of the European data we got that they said that obviously, Europe is not as weak as we originally had thought. I don't know that I fully believe that number, but again, having the two, next prime ministers debating today, I don't know if anybody watched it. Did any of you guys watch any of the highlights of that today? It was pretty interesting to hear them talk about things. You have one guy that's kind of, I don't know, the more conservative guy was a little bit more laid back with it, but the other guy that's kind of running for the premier position is he basically made a comment that he likes that Great Britain is the one who determines who our emissaries are, and that he will not be changing it over. It's not Trump's job to say who can stay over there. So I thought it was a pretty interesting stance that it's going to be adversarial to Trump. Great Britain, that's all they need right now is some type of trade war with the United States, and I don't think Trump's going to be like, I don't care, I don't need it anyway. What are you guys going to do? So thought it was pretty interesting his stance on that whole thing. We'll see where that'll go. If Trump all of a sudden starts to attack Great Britain and be like, yep, I don't see that bringing Great Britain pound strength at all, and that may be the catalyst we need to push higher. If they just shut up and don't say anything, I think eventually Europe will hiccup and we'll start to see this push back down again. But again, starting a trade war with the United States, probably not the best idea. And again, we got some time. I mean, we have up to 91 before we're going to be worried about this thing on the breakout to the top side. Again, just keep your eyes peeled. And again, you guys can see we had a pop and then basically it just went sideways. Nothing super crazy today. Even on the 30-minute, you guys will see we had a little bit of back and forth kind of chatter during those speeches, and then it just flatlined. Okay, this pair. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, not the smartest thing in the world, but hey, they have their own country. If you look at Euro Yen did absolutely nothing today. Remember yesterday we talked about how we really had no interest in trading this one because we were really kind of smack in the middle of the zone. Well, look what it did. It didn't do anything. I mean, if you want to measure this out, this is pretty pathetic in this pair. Top to bottom, you're talking about 32 pips, right? If we take just the body, start to finish, you're talking about 5. Okay, and this one has a 60 pip ATR. Okay, you guys will see it 59.3. If you guys can move this up, 59.3, and it moved the total of 30 pips top to bottom and didn't do anything. So nothing to go with this one. Again, that's why we walk away. We wait till something gives us some trend and gives us a trade setup. This one obviously does not have it, so still going. All right, go down to euro dollar. So euro dollar also, I mean, again, it completed this measured move that we talked about. Again, that's a trade that took about 9 days to complete. Nothing really today. And again, I think it's because all eyes are going to be on Powell's speech tomorrow, that testimony. Again, whenever you're getting interviewed by Congress, it's fun. He has a little bit different of a way that he does it versus like, Yellen did. His is more like, here's my statement, and if you want to ask me a question about it, go ahead, versus kind of being like an open book. So it'll be interesting, but I do think that people are going to be listening to him and listen to his testimony. And again, it's going to be all eyes on what's going to happen with the rate change. Any clues that confirm what we already believe is what the market is looking for. And again, is it going to be 0.25? Is it going to be 50? Or is it potentially going to be nothing at all? Okay. And again, the fact that it's later this month, that's where the market's going to have to start reacting. Again, one thing I am careful of right now is you guys will see this blue area. I am watching for this down here, right? I am looking because this is the start of this kind of last big rally up again. So we know there's some buyers sitting right below where we are now. And again, it's kind of bouncing off that area. I am watching them very, very closely. If this does continue to slowly grind down, I'm going to start setting some targets down here for 111.30-ish area, about 70 pips from where we are right now. Again, this could happen very, very fast. He could say, "Hey, we're not raising, we're not dropping rates. The market's strong, and all of a sudden this thing's going to go bink and shoot right back down to here." We have the potential for it to do that. For where we are right now, and again, this is important to understand. If you guys don't know your ruler function, definitely get it. It's about 70 pips back down to this area. Well, the ATR is 52. Erase kind of what we had seen in here. This ATR average is about 70 to 90. Okay, so in a normal day of movement, it can absolutely, without a doubt, cover 70 pips. Not that big of a deal. All right, so Not a bad way to be able to snag and grab this to the downside if we start to break below this kind of what is it, 111.88 area. Again, about 50 pip grab, based off of a confirmation entry to the downside. So not anything too horrible, right? Looking at now, tomorrow is Wednesday, so pound CAD may be something if you guys are going to pull into the forex piece over here. You guys can see this thing is just grinding. Looking on the 4 hour, you can see it hasn't been down here in a very, 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 very long time, right? This one is just nothing but CAD strength to the downside and pound weakness. Okay, now spread will be a little bit bigger on this one. The spread will be what? Right now, the bid-ask spread difference is 2.5, so it is more than like the euro, but obviously it's just slightly above the pound yen. This one has a 98 pip ATR, so it does have the power to move, particularly with CAD news. I don't think the pound is going to swing anything tomorrow that's heavy, but with all the CAD news tomorrow, this could be a potential way. If you don't like the way that the CAD yen is setting up, this is another way that you can play it. You can play it with the pound CAD because we know that the pound is weak right now. So any type of CAD strength, anything that's good, boom, that it could shoot this down. And again, we can continue on this kind of downward trend. Okay, so again, that's more just kind of watching it, following this trend, looking for any bit of a pullback. A little bit of a pullback over here at 163.88 area. It's probably the freshest one that's in here. These are way too high for it, but yeah, probably this area in here is, this I don't like. Probably this is somewhat of a pullback. We'll see where we place ourselves before the news. Like I said, busy day for CAD tomorrow. That's what I'd be looking for here. Going over and looking at the pound yen. I was getting excited. It's like, oh, it's taking a long time to load here. Oh, you know what? Let me switch this back to my 4 hour chart. It's like, no, that's not right over there. All right. So you can see kind of the same thing. We got that little bit of a rally up. It kind of pulled back down again. On the daily, again, we're still stuck in kind of that same area. We still have higher lows. We still have lower highs. It is in somewhat of a consolidation period. Again, having this nice push down was great, right? This is, definitely some weakness in the pound. But where did it pull back to? Okay, again, remember we talked about being inside of this box. Where am I looking at? Remember this box over here? And we said, oh, we went all the way to the bottom, but I wouldn't quite, get into it. Look at this. That's where we're at. We're stuck. And again, hit it, came back down, got stuck, and we're here again. So kind of a similar situation to what we had in the Aussie yen on the daily, but here we have the pound yen in the 4 hour. Okay, a little bit more of a flat line. Now this one's ATR is down now to 85. It's getting lower. Again, it's half of what it was a couple months ago. Okay, I'm waiting for the volatility in this one to pick back up again. So this wire is fun. Just not that much movement today. And again, if you guys are looking on Forex Factory, again, if you guys have your scanner, if you have your scanner, this is where we were in comparison to last night. Okay, it's 54 pips lower than where we were last night, but look what it did. We basically had this and then it stopped. Okay, and again, there's no real reason why it turned here. Okay, this is pretty clean. There was a little bit wick behind the wall. Again, this is news, and then it just stopped. Okay, pulled right back down again. So it's about 54 pips of really not much. Okay, looking at the other ones, the euro dollar moved down 9. This was up. Again, not a lot of movement. You got to see these two Aussie pairs are about the only things that dropped. And again, this one was down, wasn't huge. This was a better little trade setup. And then of course the pound, but we haven't gotten there yet. We actually cover that one next. Okay. Go to that one now. Go to pound dollar. Okay, you'll see pound dollar continue this low to the downside, right? And you guys will see here's a bit of that pattern, right? It pulled up and it just actually missed, right? It got very, very close, and again, you may have wanted to take advantage of those retraces up there. Okay, we talked about that same pattern, that continuation pattern. Yeah, you had the down, okay, then you had the up, and again, it got very, very close. We may have missed the entry on there, and it's kind of it's starting this kind of downward descent there, and again, it's continuing to drive lower. Okay. You guys can see on the 4 hour, it's been a long time since we've been back here, right? Looking at it on the daily, the last time we were back here, the wick, obviously, that happened in January. The last time the price had been here before that wick was back in December, and we've already actually broken through that low. So you guys can see, I'll make it a little. Actually, I'll just bring it to. Oh no, I'll take this to a weekly. You guys see how long it's been? March 2017 was the last time we were back there, and it is actually in an area. You guys see this little pop here? Up, pullback, and again, that's the top of the pullback. That's where we're at right now. So hopefully there's some pound strength coming in here soon. But again, this could definitely continue to drive down, drive lower. If we get back into this 120-ish range, that'll be interesting because we'll be within basically 10 cents of the euro. And that's where things get real interesting. GDP and manufacturing. For what, CAD? Sorry, I wasn't looking up just now. For tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow for CAD. Well, yeah, you have you have pound GDP early in the morning or late for the West Coasters and manufacturing. Those are both things that can give us, a bit of a bounce. They're forecast to be better, and that's why it's risky. Because whenever you forecast better and it's not better, then the market's like, oh God, we got to adjust, which would be pound weakness, which would send both these things tumbling down. Okay. And again, that could be something that if you want to take a risk, you can get, one of those smaller duration trades and, get a little bit out of the money, risk, 25, maybe on it. And if you can get it to 50 or, 75, take it off early, use a working order to take yourself out. Those are, I like those trades. You guys know I've always been a big fan of those. All right. That's it. I'm not looking to go long in this pair yet. Looking down at New Zealand. Only reason I'm looking at New Zealand is because people were talking about it earlier today. You guys will see it gave, let me bring this back down to a daily. Day. You guys will see. It kind of continued again. I'm very cautious with this because of this piece here. You guys see this big extended range green and then this kind of pullback kind of doji. It's like a cross, right? And then it started to push back up again. So there are some sellers right below where we are. And you guys will see we bounced, and then it's kind of dribbling through, okay, this kind of area, right? And again, 1, 2, this is number 3. Okay, number 3 is typically the magic number. On the 4-hour, though, one thing that I am watching on this pair, if you guys are looking at it and trading it, this is a pretty nice little area. Kind of came down very clean, right? Bounced down, and then boom, that was kind of the launching point for it to move back up again. Just by the way that it stopped and turned, there's something hidden in here. Some big money made this thing move. We're within, 98? We're about 30 pips from there, so got to be a little bit more careful. But I see this one continuing to go to the downside until we hit a little buying pocket right here. Okay. Nothing too exciting with that one. Dollar CAD. So let's see where we're loaded up for dollar CAD. All right, so dollar CAD is kind of interesting. Like I said, a lot of CAD news tomorrow. One of the things that I am looking at is kind of where we're right now, right? We're kind of in this zone right here. A little tiny bit of a retest here, a retest here, and a retest here. So we are kind of on the upper range. If we were getting ready to go into news right now, not 12 hours from now, this would be something I'd be looking at getting short. Just by the way it's formed, it kind of came up, up, sideways, up. Failure to go higher. It's not quite as high as this zone. You can see on the daily, we're in that area. You can see up here, it's kind of getting ugly. But again, we are, if you're looking at this, right, you have this and you have this. I'd say it's more like this because of this one little spike here. But that's kind of what you're looking at for, all right? But it's kind of set up to be a trap, a long trap, kind of a bull trap, again, based off of where we are on the 4-hour, okay? And if we do pop much higher, this is kind of the last start of the, if I put I'll put a single, I'll put a horizontal line here. You guys see this area right here? Right here is the start of this last kind of explosive down, sideways down movement, okay? So if we get much higher than, we're at what? 131.31 right now. This is 131.70, so it's about 40 pips. If this spikes up into this area, okay, I don't care what the news is. You know what? Let me change this. I'll switch this over. If we can get up to here on a spike, which again is entirely possible. Okay, that's an area I could potentially be looking to short. Okay, a quick spike up, right? If we do something like this, right? Where is it? Dark green. It didn't work. Anyway, if we were to get a spike here for news, I'd be looking to get short this one. This is something you can look over on the 2-hour binaries if you want. But not only 2-hour binaries, once the news comes out for reacting, if you get a confirmation on the retrace, you could also trade that with your 5-minute trades. Obviously, in the morning time, you'll most likely have a bit, you'll be able to see that the RSI is moving. But you can play that retrace in 5 minutes, and 20, 30 minutes you can make up basically whatever you want on the retrace. Okay, but that would be the area I look for, the 131.82 to 131.96, that little 20 pip range there. That's where I'd be looking for a spike off of news to turn and flip back down again. All right, dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss, the epitome of excitement. There's yesterday's candle. The entire body width was 3 pips. Okay, 3 pips. This little kind of red little blip here. If you take the full day, I mean top to bottom, you're talking about 26 pips. So for me, not tradable enough. I know some of you out there like this one. You like holding it for days and weeks. Ty, if you're out there, you said you were going to be here tonight. I haven't seen you type yet, so I'm not sure if you are. If you are, I know you love this pair, and it's still near and dear to your heart. But again, for 26 pips for the entire day, it's not enough meat for me. I'll stay with the other pairs that are moving. Okay, just my preference. All right, dollar yen. Dollar yen did exactly what we thought it would do. We said that it would go probably a bit higher. And again, it kind of came up. It wasn't that 4-hour zone, but I did believe it was going to go higher until we got any bad news. Again, it ground through, right? Pushed up, down, and kind of up through. Really more or less the same area. You're starting to see it's definitely a blunted day. On the daily, this is kind of the area that I'd be watching out for, right? I'd be cautious of this area right here. Okay, if we get any type of spike, that is what? 96. It's about 45 pips from where we are right now. It's definitely within striking range of Powell saying something and this thing spiking. Okay. Just be a little bit cautious of it. Okay. Again, we broke that 4-hour zone. When you looked at this 4-hour zone, again, this was just a wick. Again, there was a zone right above it. Again, this is a retesting area, so we were trying to. Actually, it was this one. Okay. Again, this is a wick over wick. It's triggered here, almost triggered here, and again, there's 3. There's 4. I mean, the zone's basically eaten up at this point. Again, it was only a very small one. It was only good for really one test. There is another one located. It looks like 109.20 right here. So we'll see if it has the ability to jump up to there. But I would mark off, again, set yourself an alert for 109.65. If price comes up to this area, we're definitely looking to be short. And again, that also coincides with coming up to here in this upper range on the daily. And again, very, very, very nice selling candle. Take this more conservative, take just the body. Yeah, you're looking at 109.60. Okay, so again, these two things coincide. This is 65, this is 60. Nice little, again, big spike, grab it, turn, and sell to the downside. All right. Let's go down. Actually, that was the last one. Let's see if there's anything other pairs that I would look at in here. We covered EuroCAD. Yeah, I think we covered EuroCAD. We did Pound CAD. Again, EuroCAD has basically just been driving down. Very similar, right? It's a weak versus the Canadian dollar. Again, any bad news with the CAD could, further put this down. I think we'll be okay though. We're actually in the area of sellers right now. I think I like the other one better than this one, but not a bad pullback. It's pulled back right into this level of basing right here. Okay. It's been a long time since it's bound down here. Again, definitely do it for a retrace, but there's a lot of gaps in here. Again, lower volume. Spread's going to be a little bit bigger. The spread's about 2 on this one. Again, just a different way to play it. All right. All right, so that was the last pair. We kind of flew through them. Like I said, when there's pairs that really aren't moving, not a lot of setups, not a lot of good things there. Do you guys have any questions with any things I covered tonight? If you guys are, I will give you guys an opportunity to type. If you guys were not aware, we had a celebrity guest jump into Discord today to answer some questions. Like I said, you will see that celebrity, the said celebrity, popping in every so often. So if you guys have questions and things like that, don't hesitate to shoot him a message. And again, when he gets a chance, he will respond back inside of the channel. I'm trying to think of any other updates while you guys are giving you guys a chance to kind of catch up with the delay. Had a great conversation with Nadex. If I didn't tell you guys saw on the channel. Nadex is working on some exciting things, and they want me to help them revamp their webinar schedule to make it more beneficial. So I'm going to meet with them Friday and do that. I have to call Top Step tomorrow. I'm going to check on, see if the insider over there, my manager, the affiliate manager, if she can tell me how long the summer promotion is going to be on. If you guys didn't know, the FX side was always a little bit harder. You had to have a minimum number of trades, 35 or 50, and you could hit it in like 2 days, and then had to do 30 open close trades to get through. They removed that. It took a year and a half of complaining, but they removed it finally. I guess they saw the benefit of having that removed. But they also, for step one, lowered the profit potential. So when it's time for you guys to start doing your FX test for the combine, let me know. I can help you do that on MT4, or we can do it on TradeStation. If you guys need help with TradeStation, I will absolutely help you guys out. As I mentioned, I cannot have a live account over there. It's not one. My wife is a financial advisor, or I guess she's in the process of getting certified for becoming a full financial advisor, and all family assets have to be at prescribed brokerage firms. And unfortunately, TradeStation is not one of them. So I can't have a live account over there, but I can definitely help you guys with it. I'll open up an account just if you guys need some help with it. Great platform. Used it for the last 8 years, 9 years. Love it. Hands down, it's an incredible product. But if you're doing FX stuff, again, easier just to use MT4 and NinjaTrader. Okay. All right. So it doesn't look like you guys have any questions. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? I'm gonna touch base with Top Step tomorrow. I will figure out how long that promotion is for. But again, no minimum trades. $1,000 in stage 1, $2,000 in stage 2. That's basically 100 pips at one standard lot. Not too shabby to do. You guys should be able to do that. I mean, if the goal is 30 pips a day, you guys could potentially hit that in the first 2 days, 3 days. If our goal is 30 pips a day, you guys will hit that in the first 3 days, and then bam, you're through. So it's one of those ones that you can get through pretty quickly if you need to. Now that they remove the trade things, and stage 1, you're allowed to trade during major U.S. news releases. Yeah, I know that's the big side, the big thing with you combine guys on the other side. You cannot trade during major news releases, and people get busted on that one. Stage 1 for Forex, you can trade during major news releases. Meaning, again, you want to play some of these retraces. Ding, ding, ding. You guys could be done in one trade. All right. All right, guys. Well, that's everything I got. Well, we didn't take the full hour today. As I said, if there's things in there that you guys have questions for, you guys are more than welcome to hit me on Discord. If you guys want to hit me on either of these two chats, you guys are more than welcome to hit me there, and I will answer them for folks. I'm pretty sure everybody on here now is on the Discord channels. Like I said, still adding things for you guys that have the Forex class. Tomorrow, I should be putting up the cheat sheet. The cheat sheet, for some of you who don't know what that is, it's basically the kind of step-by-step process that you guys can print out. It's in Word. It's a PDF format, but it's a Word document that you guys can kind of print it out. So instead of you guys just remembering it from scratch, literally it walks you through the step-by-step. I have one of the general rules, and then I have one for overnight trading that I wanted to put up there. So those will be in the Forex class tomorrow. I can update you guys on the Discord channel and let you know when it's actually up there. All right. Okay, guys. So with that being said, Ernest is like, yes, cheat sheet. I love it. Yeah. I just think it's easier. I'm trying to add as many resources as I possibly can for you guys. I really want you guys to get funded. I'm gonna have a special color for funded traders. Just kind of add some new bells and whistles and perks for you guys as much as I can possibly do. Like I said, my goal next year is I want to be able to say I created 100 funded traders that are trading with other people's money. That's my goal to determine whether or not I'm successful or not. So everybody that's on here, this goes out to you. You guys got to be funded. All right. And again, they want to track it and use you guys for marketing too. So if any of you guys are not camera shy, please let me know once you get funded, because they will gladly put you inside of a marketing piece. Okay. Oh, Ty is here. Welcome back, Ty. And actually, I think at this point, Ty, isn't your little one just about a year old? Because mine, I think you were a couple months behind me. And my little one, she turned 1 June 2nd. So I think your little one is just about 1. James, yeah, you better be. 8 months. All right, so you're getting pretty close. 8.5 months. Yeah, I knew it was coming up. I know you were a little bit behind. So, yeah, they're fun when they get to be 1. Wait. It's a boy, right? Yeah, I think it's a boy. Oh, putting tubes in his ear some more. Hey, mine had it. This baby didn't. Both the boys did, and it made the hugest difference in the world, man. We went from like ear infection every 3 weeks to like nothing for months, and it was amazing. So yeah, tubes are awesome. Crawling, once they crawl, they get into everything. Mine is at the stage now we're taking 1 or 2 steps, so pretty much I have no peace at this point anymore. She climbs up on my desk and hits the keyboard. I'm like, stop that. Yeah, it's fun. But yeah, ear tubes, great stuff. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to bounce. I'll catch you guys in Discord. We'll be on the same time tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Hopefully, we have a bit more to talk about. Hopefully, Pal says something really spectacular tomorrow and we get some retraces in. And again, if you guys are on our Instagram and you're not following us yet, please go look at Keep Trading Simple. You will see periods between the words. Go ahead and check us out over there. And again, I'll be posting some more kind of like not teaser content, but it's going to be like kind of quick lessons and kind of setup and trade examples. That's a good avenue for us to do it. It's not going to be pictures of money and sports cars and stuff like that. It's purely going to be, showing different types of setups to use as reminders, almost like a flashcard for people. Okay. Kind of like pointers and things like that. All right. So guys, take care. I will catch you guys tomorrow.